We're doing a brand new live stream on this stay-at-home evening here. This is the first live stream I've done on one of these things, so I've just been wanting to do one of changing my guitar strings. Definitely have been looking forward to this. Got some new strings in, I don't know, a few weeks back. I definitely wanted to see what they look like and sound like on my guitar. So I'm going to go ahead and mute that. So it looks like it's working very well. So that's nice. Go ahead and pause that so that it won't be draining bandwidth. I'm using a new stream service you can probably see up here called StreamYard. Check out the link in the description below if you would like to check that out. So definitely for all these things I'm showing you, you can kind of check out. I've got a gear page over at ericbay.com/gear. And we are going to be changing our strings to a brand new kind of string. I've never tried these before, but I'll just kind of show you these real quick. These are the DR neon green strings for electric. And that is, like I said, these are in the link below. There's some links for this. I'm putting these on my Ibanez AZ242BC guitar. I will pan everything down here in just a minute. And these right now have 9/10 gauge strings on them. They are 9 to 46. So they're kind of a hybrid. I used Ernie Ball hybrid slinkies on here. And so you should be able to, with this new streaming service, I should be able to see your comments a little bit better. But these originally came with a 10 gauge string. And I am not a fan of 10 gauge strings. They're really hard for me to bend and they're tough on my fingers. I have carpal tunnel, so I have to watch out for that. But I do like the sound of a lower gauge string on my low string. So it's not really working out on the setup I have now. The action is way too high. So I'm going to go to all complete 9s on my floating tremolos from here on for the foreseeable future, so I don't have a lot of setup issues. But on the Ibanez, you see on the back here the the EW521 MZW NTF guitar. That's the one that I've had before. Okay, you can see that one. On that guitar, I'm going to be using, that's the exotic wood in the middle there. I'll be using 9 to 46 on that one because I don't have to worry about the trim, and it should take the action very well. We're going to try that. But for today, we're going to use the DR strings. And in but in celebration of the neon green, you can see the neon green here. I have some neon green lighting here, and I'm even sitting on my neon green yoga mat ball. So that'll be for easy up and down if I have to get up and down. So for now, let's go ahead and pan down and show you what I've got going on here. So I think I've done a live stream of changing strings before. It may have been on this very guitar, I'm not sure. But what you're going to need some tools, okay? So you're going to need some kind of string winder. I like using the string winder. I think this might be from Planet Waves, I'm not sure. But this thing is amazing. I use it on just a cordless screwdriver. I'm going to need some guitar polish. Any kind we'll usually do as long as it's for guitar. Guitar polishing rag. You're going to need a tuner for when you tune the strings back up. Let's make sure this is working. And yes, it is also neon green. You're going to need your guitar tool. This one came with this guitar, actually. This is the Ibanez guitar tool. It even has a millimeter string gauge so that you can see the height of the action if necessary. And you're going to need some small screwdrivers. I've had these for years. I love these things. And I use these all the time. So these are some precision screwdrivers, and these are great for getting your intonation and things like that, which now that I'm changing string gauges from the 10s to the 9s, I will definitely have to intonate the guitar. I've noticed some intonation issues anyway. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take off the fret wrap I have here. It's also got my pick in it because I don't want anything on here while I'm trying to change my strings. Give me just a second here. Comment below if, I can't see how many people are watching, but comment below if everything's going all right in the stream. Hopefully it is. I want to make sure the sound is all right. And I'm texting my wife to have her turn on the air conditioner. Because it is hot in here. There we go. All right, so now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to change these all at once. Usually I would do that, but I don't want to fool with that today. I'm just going to change these one by one because I want to see how it adjusts and how it affects the tremolo system. So I don't want to have to fool with retuning a whole lot by taking all the strings off and putting all the strings back on and having to reset this thing. I'm going to have to do some adjustments anyway in the back, most likely. So what I'm going to do now is kind of like take all the strings off and everything and make sure, not all the strings, but one string at a time for floating tremolo bridges. That's kind of important. And that way it will also keep my truss rod, my neck, under a constant amount of pressure. So I don't have to worry about doing that. So let me go back here to the stream. I'll make sure I'm caught up to the stream itself. I think I am. All right, so that should be all right. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and unwind the string that I need to unwind. With this, it's a locking tremolo system, so I don't have to worry too much about string windings. So what I need to do is go righty-tighty because that's how we're going to loosen our guitar strings. It's kind of odd like that. I'll do that until I see slack coming off right here. And go ahead. And I think what I have to do is unwind the actual post here for the string to come loose. It's been a while since I've done this, so I can't remember if I have to do that or not. It seems like it is. Yeah, and as I'm turning, this loosens that completely so that it comes out. And that should come right out. Yes, good. So that one is now loose, and we can take this, go through the body here, and I'm going to do a couple things. There's some other tools I just now spotted that I didn't notice before. I'm going to do a couple other things. Let's go ahead and set the strings right here. You'll notice I have with me here a couple other tools. I use these on just about every guitar I have, and that is the Graphitol by Rene Martinez. Probably can't see that too well, but that's what it looks like. What you need is just about any kind of graphite material. I usually put some in the nut, and you can use a pencil lead for that because it's made of graphite. I usually put some in the nut, squirt with your pencil lead, and on here I put some too on the bridge, and this helps with tuning issues. You don't want to have a lot of tuning where your strings are pinching or anything like that, and you usually want to come and put this on all contact points. So the string has to come up through the channel over the saddle here. It comes down here on the nut, and then it goes straight to the string tree. So that's what I'm going to do with this. Just go ahead and apply a little bit on each one of these. And I usually have to, this stuff gets gummed up real bad, so I just take the tip off, just pop it right off. Stick the tip of this down here just a little bit and get just a dab. A little goes a long way. Just get a dab of that and put it in the channel itself and leading down to where the string is coming out. Okay, same thing with the nut up here, just a little bit. You don't need much at all. And just put that in that channel of that nut there. And as the string goes over that, it will make contact with it, and it will, you don't have to worry about the string going out of tune a lot. Now, cool thing is, these are locking tuners, so they will be locked, and this is a very stable tuning bridge. It's a go-to bridge, and you won't have to worry about a lot of tuning issues. I haven't really had to worry about it with this guitar hardly at all. Now, one thing I also want to do is kind of spray this down when everything's over with and just polish everything just to get it back to a nice shine. Now, I won't be able to get in here, obviously, too much, but I can still run my polishing cloth through there. Usually, I just take everything off and do that. I don't worry too much about the fretboard as well because I've got some finger ease spray that I spray it down with quite often when it starts getting too sticky on the strings. So that kind of conditions the fretboard with some natural oils with that as well. So before I open these, let's see what the back of this says, okay? Check this out. All right, super bright colors designed to sound clear, bright, and musical. DR strings, DR neon strings are the second in this DR Super String series. Super bright in the daylight or under stage lighting. DR neon strings pop in appearance on your guitar. DR neon strings sparkle brightly under stage lights and are black light active, so they glow under UV lighting. That's pretty cool. Now I wish I had a black light. I can kind of simulate that with some of my bulbs down here. I don't know if I can remember to do that. I will. I'll probably be doing a review on these strings within the next week or so. So I'll be reviewing these strings to see how they held up. And this is one of the reasons why. Our new durable proprietary K3 technology color coating lasts up to 9 times longer by factory test than previous DR colors coated, and that's a lot of C's, than previous DR color coatings supplied by an outside source. The new durable K3 color coating will not strip away, peel, or come off under any playing condition we have put it through in numerous stressful factory tests. On a 6-pick rotating wheel, okay, so a rotating wheel that has 6 picks on it, spinning. We have, on a 6-pick rotating wheel where a pick strikes the same spot on a string 1 time per second. 1 time per second. So that's 60 times in 60 seconds. Okay? So the previous coating lasted at best 20 minutes. The new durable K3 coating consistently lasts 180 minutes. So now 1 time per second is 60 seconds, 60 pick strokes per second. So 60 pick strokes a minute, and there's 180 minutes. So let's do the math on that real quick. If I'm correct, 60 times 180 is 10,800 pick strokes before it started wearing away. Okay, so the new durable K3 coating consistently lasts 180 minutes and will only wear away. After 180 minutes of testing, there's usually a worn spot and some dust from the coating in the pick. Yeah, the picks are going to wear away too. The durable K3 coating has not peeled or stripped away ever during our documented and severe factory testing. Okay, so you may find, if you go on YouTube, you may find some documentation. They may have some video of this. This would be really cool. So let's start ripping to these and start these and see how well they are. I'm not seeing anybody anybody on the stream just yet. That's fine. I didn't really expect a whole lot of people. It's kind of an evening, and I didn't announce it. It's kind of hard. Every time I try to announce a stream, it never goes well. It always ends up having to be a different stream link or whatever. Let's see. Patent pending. No, what does it say? Prevent dead strings and avoid loss of intonation. So this is just a little advertisement for their string company here. Inside of this. Yeah. I think that's what it says. So basically they're saying, I think they're saying to bend the string, which I'll show you how I do this anyway. So we have the 3rd and 6th strings. We have the 2nd and 5th and the 1st and 4th. So let's try these out. 1st and 4th string. All right, so that's the 4th string. Is the thicker one. I'm going to get the 1st one ready. Oh, these look pretty nice. You can definitely see those on screen. Now, what I usually do is I'll take, and the winding, you can see, maybe, you probably can't. Maybe you will be able to tell on these thicker strings. But usually there's a little overlap on one side of the string. I usually take that and twist it so that it's not going to be laying on that on the bottom side. So that way it won't further hinder the tuning process. Okay, so I'll take that, and I usually take and bend the string at that point. Just bend it. And then when I do that, I insert it in the, now that's for my acoustic. Now, it doesn't look like this is going to work for my electric, because I was thinking of putting a pin in there and keeping it, so I don't have to do that now. So I'm not going to bend that with electric strings, apparently. So we're going to go through the bottom here on the body. Come up through there. Oh, the other tool I didn't mention was if you can see on the neck over here, a support for your guitar neck. And what I'm using is an actual support that came with my Breedlove guitar, but it was not for the Breedlove guitar itself because it was too bulky, so I had to take it out. So what I'm going to do here now, I'm not going to worry about slack on the strings here because I have a locking tuner, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to make sure this is all the way up, pull this all the way as tight as I can with that in the nut, and then lock that bad boy down. And this usually happens. It's kind of like having to do two things at once here. So I'm going to hold it down with the screwdriver while I actually turn with the thing here. First of all, it's going to lock, and then when that happens, I can let go of the screwdriver. Tighten it a little bit more and then let go of the screwdriver, and it's locked. I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, it's going to go around the back. So then what I do is go ahead and get the string off here. Okay, so now that one is in place. So we'll tune it up to actual tuning here in just a little bit when everything's on there. All right, that's number one. That was the first and fourth string. So what I'm going to do to keep up with this so I don't forget is tuck the fourth string on the sleeve. Okay, there's your little tip there. Now we need the second and fifth strings. You're definitely, man, these are definitely neon. Like that. The John Mayer song comes to mind. I'm not going to sing it because of copyright issues, but look at that. That is pretty wild. That's the fifth string. I can't wait to get these on. I think it's going to really pop with this brown on the guitar. Okay, so let's go ahead and take that off. A lot of moving parts here. A lot of things going on. Getting excited about this, though. I put off doing this video all day. And that's because I've just been in kind of like a creative funk. Anybody there ever been in a creative funk? If so, leave a comment below. It's been one of those days, and I consider it one of my off days. I just didn't feel like doing anything, and I haven't felt the AC come on, so I'm going to try that again. Maybe she'll find that out. Okay, so now we can take this off. Just hold on to this, and we can loosen that. And that actually loosens that completely so that the string can come out. Okay. Okay. All right, so that one's done. I can pull it through the bottom here. And this makes for a lot easier string changing when you don't change them all at the same time. Okay, so now we'll put the other one in, which is the second, which is this one. The coating, it kind of has a, how would I describe this? I don't want to say crusty, but that's what it kind of feels like. It has a different, almost a very slight abrasive feel to it. So I'm hoping it's a coating. So I'm hoping it will not only make the strings last longer, but it will help the strings to be nice and slippery, but not be like sticky feeling, because it's kind of got that feeling to me right now. All right, up through the body. It's going to be interesting to see how this is going to look. typically with locking tuners, this is how it's going to look with all the strings on here. Typically with locking tuners, when I had Spurzel locking tuners, it had a certain way. With the two middle, you were supposed to have the hole facing directly this way. The two top ones, the hole was supposed to face at like a 45-degree angle towards you, and the bottom were supposed to face it like a 45-degree angle away. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. Just almost like you're stringing it from the back. Okay, make sure that's there. Oops, there it went. A little more stuck in there. But it looks like these tuners aren't allowing me to do that. Oh, I forgot to put the little stuff on here. Do that real quick. Definitely want no tuning issues on the guitar. And the thicker or the wider these the nut becomes, the wider the strips become in the nut, the easier it will be to apply that stuff in there. Okay, so take that, get that screwdriver back, hold on to the string and the screwdriver at the same time, and hold the screwdriver stationary. Crank that up, and it will tighten. And it is now tight. Very cool. You are seeing live, this is starting to change. Now, once again, I forgot to put this on social media. No wonder nobody's here. Let's go ahead and tweet that, put that on Facebook. How did I miss that? Okay, that's on there now. And now, go here, copy the URL, put it on my Patreon page so that they can see it as well. Definitely want that to happen. All right, now we can publish that. Bingo. So Patreon people can see it now. All right, good deal. I think we're set. So let's go back to the live stream, see what's going on. Maybe I'll get some comments now. All right, so that was the 5th string, was the thicker one. Okay, and now we're definitely going to be able to see a difference. I don't necessarily have to stick these on here. A little tip for you guys: whenever you always save a sleeve, that way you can write down the day you change your strings. Anytime after, let's say, 3 o'clock, count it as the next day. So right now it is almost around 7:30ish, I think. Yeah, it's 7:30 on the dot right now. So I'm going to count this as changing my strings the next day. So that would be May the 7th. Okay, so I'm going to put that on here, 5/7/20, and then that way I can always know what time, when I change my guitar strings. And also I'm going to put on here the which guitar it was. So this is the Ibanez AZ242BC. I feel like I'm missing some letters on that. I don't know. Let's check that out real quick. Is that what it is? Ibanez AZ242BC. No, there's some other letters on there, which is like DET, which is like deep espresso burst or something. I don't know what the T is for, but yeah. Okay, so that's yeah. Let's check the string, make sure it's still audio is still good. Oh, I gotta unmute it. There we go. Okay, good deal. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. Now we are on to the 3rd and 6th strings. And like I said, I don't have to put the sleeve on here anymore because now I can see they're super thick. So I can see which gauge is which. Check that out. Oh, yes. Let's just close up on that. That looks awesome. I cannot wait. I've got a big, huge announcement also that I know, and I'm thinking about this. This is another reason why I wanted to do this before tomorrow. Tomorrow, Thursday, May the 7th, I'm going to start taking lessons from none other than the incredible Marco Svoli from Italy. Skype lessons, and since everything's on shutdown and lockdown, I'm just going to treat myself, invest in my own abilities, because that's one of my main goals for this year, is to get better at playing guitar for myself. Oh, well, no wonder it won't go through there. I haven't undone it yet. So I am very excited about this, guys. I will be taking lessons from Marco Svoli, and I've got 4 lessons booked. Probably all I need, because I am assuming he will give me more than enough to work on. And I've got a whole 2-page spread in my bullet journal of questions to ask and of ideas and things like that to go over with him. And I'm very excited about this. Gotta watch out for the strings biting you, because they will. That was almost up the nail into the quick. Another thing about these locking tuners, sometimes you don't know which direction they're going to go. But yeah, I've got a lot of questions to ask him. We're also going to schedule an interview, so I will have that available on YouTube. Now, I can't post the YouTube lessons. I told him I would not do that. I'm not going to post those lessons because they're going to be private. And yes, I am bleeding. Got me good. All right, so anyway, yeah, those will not be posted on YouTube, but I will have them recorded so that I can refer back to these time and time again. And if you are interested in lessons before all this lockdown stuff goes away, you definitely want to do that, because after that, he'll be touring live again and his schedule will be booked, and they probably won't be able to do live lessons. You need to head over to his Facebook page. Just look for Marco Svoli, S-F-O-G-L-I. Yes, that's right. Marco, M-A-R-C-O, Svoli, S-F-O-G-L-I. And hit him up about private lessons. He has a post on there somewhere with the email of which to reach him. Yeah, okay. So, man, that hurt. Watch out for them strings, buddy. They will bite. All right, so let's get the other one threaded. Wherever I put it. You guys saw me where I put it. Where in the world did I put the thing? It hasn't fell on the floor, has it? We have a disappearing string, folks. Ooh, there it is. It has fell on the floor. All right. Once again, let's go ahead and put on the Rene Martinez. Something I meant to mention as well, for those of you that don't know, Stevie Ray Vaughan over here, his guitar tech was Rene Martinez for a long time. And this is the stuff that he developed, that Rene developed, or Reen, or however you pronounce his name. Okay, so we graph it all. And this stuff lasts forever. You don't need a dab, and it lasts forever. I've had this stuff for at least a good maybe 10 years. And I got plenty to go. So this is a lifetime stuff. And you buy it once and you're good. And this is for all my guitars. I put it on all my guitars, okay? All right, so... But yeah, I'm excited about getting lessons tomorrow with Marco. If you have not heard his playing or seen his playing, that's definitely worth checking out. He is a monster on electric guitar, and his style is just, for me, it's unique to anybody else's I've ever seen. And I really want to learn how he does some of the stuff he does. My thing right now is learning fretboard visualization techniques, because, oh man, you get so confused. I mean, I do. There's the K's method. There's learning intervals. There's arpeggios. There's pentatonic boxes. There's man, some of this coating, you can't see this, but some of it is being scraped off. Probably can't see that. It's being scraped off by the tuning peg itself, so you got to watch out for that. Okay, I'm going to get that as tight as I can in there. Pull it this way. Get that screwdriver in there. This screwdriver, I'm going to have like 5 hands for this. Okay, halfway there. Look at this. What do you think, guys? You know what? Let me check something else out real quick, because I'm just seeing the channel. It's not showing. It's showing locks, but I don't know I have any idea how many people are actually viewing the stream. So that's the control room. Let me go to the control room. Open that in a new tab. And get that up over here on this other screen that I'm working with. All right, yeah, let's do that. So I have how many people watching? This is weird. They've set it up a little differently. Viewer activity. Excellent stream health, good. I have been using Light Stream to stream with, but setting all that up with multiple screens and everything has been a pain. So it looks like, you know, by using, once again, the link is in the description below. With StreamYard, it seems fairly easy. It recognizes all my equipment. It recognizes my camera. I have not had any lag. I've had no health issues with the stream at all. I can do, you know, split screens. I can share my screen, and it's real easy. I don't have to set up individual panels like I do with Lightstream. And I've pretty much given up on OBS because it's just a hoss and a beast to handle and maintain. And for now, I don't want to fool with that. I don't want all these technical issues while I'm trying myself to stream and all this stuff. I don't want to handle all that. So what I'm doing is I'm experimenting with StreamYard. And if I like it, then we'll do it. I think they allow you like 20 hours a month. Lightstream only allows 4. And there's some different levels and things like that. If you want to remove the whole, you know, logo and everything and change your branding colors, none of that I care about right now. It's not a big deal. But if you definitely want to check them out, check out the link below. I have a link for that. I think it gives you like credit for how much ever you decide to spend on a Lightstream or something like that. I can't remember. So that's the special link that's in the description below for StreamYard. So, okay. So, how about we do this? Why don't you guys answer me this question in the comments below? What is your favorite string brand and string gauge? Okay. What do you like? What kind of strings do you use? I've used DR strings several different times. Never used these, like I said. I use Ernie Balls. I've used Dunlop strings before. They're really good. I've used, for my acoustic guitar, I use exclusively Elixir on my Breedlove acoustic guitar. For my Martin, that's my kind of experimental string guitar. I like Elixir's the best, but I've got some more strings that I'm wanting to try on those. Specifically Ernie Ball, I think it's Earthwood, maybe called something else. But I want to try some new strings when I get around to changing the guitar strings on that. That may be another live stream entirely. Also, leave me a comment below if you like these types of live streams. Do you like me changing my strings and just talking with you guys? This is called the Creative Cafe for a reason. It's because I can be myself. We can talk about creative things. We can talk about whatever, and we can just enjoy this, just hangout time together. So leave me some comments below. What's your favorite string brand and string gauge? And what do you think about these types of live streams where I'm kind of changing strings and doing some other kind of things like this? All right, let's get that other string out of there. Watch, here's a little tip. You see this? This is right next to my eyeball, okay? So watch that. Get that out of the way. Don't stick yourself in the eye. All right, so let's go ahead and detune the next string, the D string. Get that screwdriver available. Now that this is done, we'll go ahead and product placement for you guys right there. Good deal. Where is that screwdriver? What did I do with that? There it is. All right, make sure that's all the way down. Watch for the biting strings again because they will bite you. I just have to bend that out of the way so that I can pull that thing out of there. All right, I'm going to continue going here. Typically, when I'm changing strings, I like to take the wrap and wrap around the post. I'll bring it in, and then I'll wrap the post around the string, or the string around the post one time, and then start feeding the rest of the string underneath. So I'll have it like an over and under wrap wire. Check out some of my other videos on how to change guitar strings, and you'll see what I mean by that. It's a very good technique because it allows your string to kind of lock. It almost creates another locking mechanism with your strings. So now I'm up to the fourth string, which is D, and we put a sleeve on that earlier, and now the sleeve is off of it, but still I can see that it's thinner than the other strings. Okay, so I'm going to use that. Before I handle that, let's go ahead and put the guitar goop on here. I don't know why I put the lid on. Graph it all. And I'll just wipe the excess off after I get done with this because I can see some of the, there's a glaze of some of the excess up there. All right, go down the channel. Good deal. Get that string out. But the reason I mentioned Marcos Foley is because, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to change his strings, because I wanted to, I don't know, maybe impress him with my green strings, because his signature guitar is a Marcos Foley. It's an AZ model, and his guitar is actually green. So I thought, hey, he's sponsored by Elixir Strings, but maybe he might want to try out some of these DR strings on his electric guitar just for fun. I know this blends real well. I think this green blends real well with this brown. I like it. Okay, I'm going to put that in there. Once again, I'm going to kind of like hold on to this, hold on to that screwdriver, kind of lock them both together, and then get that thing going. Once it takes, we're good to go. Okay, like I said, we'll tune these up to standard here in a little bit, but I like to get them as close as possible for now. Next string, let's go ahead and loosen that. Once again, lose the screwdriver. All right. Okay, these thicker strings aren't as bad to bite you. But them other ones, man, they'll tear you up. These are kind of difficult to get through the hole there because they're, by the time you take them out, they're bent already. There we go. You have to kind of slide them around a little bit. You can see they kink up from where they come up, so they get stuck on the back plate, and sometimes they won't come up. All right, guitar goo in the nut here, and on the saddle. Next string, fifth string. Let's see which one. Yeah, no, that's the sixth. I need the fifth. All right, these are looking nice. Hope you can see that. We'll definitely check that out. Now, what else am I going to do on this when I get it done? I've got to check the intonation. I've got to change the truss rod setting to where the action is just right. And I've also got to change the bridge because I can already see it sinking. So it's got to be flat. It's got to be level. So I've got to change that as well. Nothing looks like a big deal. So nothing really to worry about there. Okay. And you can see that this is very loose, maybe. But that's because the locking mechanism is disengaged. And I just do it a few extra turns so that I make sure that I can get that string through there, because it gets very tight if you don't. Uh-oh, check that out. You have to tighten it up, and it makes the other string go flat because now the bridge is pulled back up again. Okay, one more to go, guys. Let's try this out. I would prefer a bigger screwdriver for this, but this is what I got to work with here. And if you go too much with that and you let that go, this can pop right off. That's why it was so loose earlier. So I'm going to try not to do that. A lot of it depends on how easy the string comes out. So if it comes out really easy, that's all you need. Okay. Yeah, that's a little loose, but that's fine. So with this, you know what I forgot to get? That's all right. I'll go get them here in a little bit. I forgot to get me some wire cutters. Let's do that later. Once again, there we go. That came out pretty good. Last one, and it looks like a doozy. Check that bad boy out. Man, you can definitely see that. Whew. All right. Let's get that guitar stuff on here. Getting my table a mess. All right, get that in there. And I've already got some graphite from a pencil in there. I can see it. After a while, if you do that and mix it, it gets all dingy and dark in here, but it's still good. No problems whatsoever with that. If you haven't done it yet, leave your comment below on what your favorite string brand or string gauge is. I'm really curious to find out, okay? Thank you to everybody that may be watching now. I cannot really tell who all is watching. Looks like I got one light and two something else. Can't see it. It's too far away. All right. Let's see here. Man, this looks nice. Can't wait to see what it looks like under kind of like a black light setting. All right. Make sure that's up there. Nice. Got to be careful because you don't want the coating to peel off. So you kind of have to guide it in there as best as you can. Okay, hold that up. Get that screwdriver in there with that string. Lefty tighty for guitar tuners on this side. That looks amazing, guys. Check that out. I'm going to hold that up for you guys. Oh, my God. You can't really tell here, but once you move it, oh, my goodness, it like turns on. Isn't that awesome? I'm going to move it a little bit. It's like the strings light up when you move it. Motion activate. Isn't that nice? Oh, my goodness. I may keep these on here forever. I like that. That's very nice. All right, so now what we're going to do is before we clip the things there, the excess string, I'm going to take and probably go ahead and put this back on. And that matches even more. Marco's going to be jealous. You wait and see. He has one of these green Groove Gear fret wraps too. I've got those as well. And if you go to my gear page, it's linked in the description below. You can check out the Groove Gear. But now we're completely green. Isn't that nice? Oh my goodness. All right, so what I'm going to do now is go ahead and tune the thing. And from what I've read, you really want to tune the guitar not laying down like this because gravity affects the tuning. So you want to tune it in the position that you're playing it, okay? Let me double check my camera settings. I do not want this thing on autofocus. There we go. Leave autofocus alone. All right. So here's how we're going to tune this. So I'm just going to have it down here, get my tuner clipped on, and then begin tuning. Now, with this, I've got a whammy bar here, and it's going to be nice to use to help those strings stretch. I'm also going to stretch the strings manually myself, but with a floating tremolo bridge, you usually want to go with the E, the other E, A, B, then G, D to make sure everything is evenly distributed. The pressure and tension is evenly distributed across the bridge. I did a video on this on how to tune a Floyd Rose style guitar tremolo. Look that up on my channel and you'll see all that. That's one of my most popular videos, actually. A lot of people have problems with that. I know I did until I made a video. And that's all thanks to the Tone King. He gave me the inspiration to do that video. So let's get this thing going. Here's another tip. I use this Groove Gear thing, the sleeve of it, for a pick holder. All right. All right, so I'm going to start with that E again, like I said. He definitely needs to come up. And if it doesn't register, you can always do a harmonic at the 12th fret. Okay, now I'm going to do the other E, and it's high. Now the A. Well, that's really knocked out of tune. B. G. And the D. Now what I'm going to do, now it's so-called in standard, but because the others, it was so far out of tune, the other strings are now unstable, most likely. Yeah, so now that one's higher. So I'm going to tune that just a little bit below what it should be. That way I have room to move back up. Eventually, it will balance out. And when it balances out is when I'm going to start stretching the strings manually. Okay, now here's what I mean by stretching the strings manually. I'm going to take and pull the string like that, and then up here. And that's just accidentally hitting the B string when I'm doing this. Pull, 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 pull. Watch out, make sure it goes back in the nut when you do this. There we go. Pull, 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 pull. Now some people actually take and press down on these contact ones. I don't like to do that because I'm afraid that I'll actually break a string. So I'm just fine with this. Now, we could tune it here as it lays, but once again, we want to make sure that gravity works for us. So we're going to tune it as if we're playing it. Now, I got this tip and many other great guitar tips from a guy named Fredua, and he's Italian, I think. If you look up Fredua TV, F-R-U-D-U-A, I'm pretty sure, and his channel's like Fredua TV. Amazing guitar luthier, and he knows a lot of in and outs about setting up your guitar. He's the one that told me not to even touch the action. It's such an aggravating process. You don't even want to touch the action of these saddles. You want to rely solely on the truss rod for adjusting your action for the most part. For right now, it still looks kind of high, but that's all right because now that there's less tension on the guitar, I'm going to take and adjust this truss rod to make it a little less of a bow. And also this right here, I've got to adjust to loosen the claw springs. Whenever I get this thing all the way in tune and it's kind of stable, I'll loosen the claw springs on the back and balance the strings with the claw here. Actually, it looks about like it did when I first received this guitar. With 10s, there was a little bit of a back bow, not bow, but a back angle on this trim, but I prefer it to be straight, and that's the way it's supposed to be, I think. So we're going to retune this now that I've yanked the fire out of the strings. Once again, I'm going to leave it a little flat because the E tends to go sharp on floating tremolo. These other strings are actually a lot more stable. The one thing I'm concerned about with these strings, now that they're 9s and this guitar is set up for 10s, is that the low action will be almost too buzzy for these higher strings. Now, here's my thinking. I just thought about this earlier today. With 10s on here, to me, it's logical that they probably had the saddles high anyway to clear for fret buzz. So with 9s on here, they probably should be high enough to not have to worry about any buzz. I could technically take this to a luthier and have them lower the string saddles for 9s if I wanted to. I may end up having to do that if I can't do that myself. That's totally fine. Because I found with this guitar, I've had a lot of noise issues that I haven't had with my Ibanez EW Exotic Wood series. And I think that's attributed to the Hyperion pickups. In this room, I've got some bad wiring or bad grounding or something. So I get all kinds of noise anyway, but not as bad with that other one. So I don't know if it's the pickups. To me, I think it is. Or there might be something actually loose in this guitar. So if I find that I need a setup, then I'm just going to take it there and let them look through the electronics and everything as well, make sure everything is working fine. So here we go. We got everything up to tune. We're going to take and yank the strings again. And I do this usually about 3 times. Is about how many times it takes before the strings stop stretching so much that you have to retune them all the time. But let me tell you, this is a lot easier doing it this way than if you had taken all the strings off and done them one by one. I'm not sure if I'll do that ever again. I'm probably sure. I mean, I did that all the time with my Stratocaster guitar, but I haven't done that in a while. The only reason I would is to go ahead and wipe down the fretboard. Now with my, you can't see it in the picture, but it's in the frame, I mean, but it's my blue guitar, the RG4EX1. Sometimes I'll block the tremolo with like a butter knife and a piece of cloth so it doesn't scratch the surface of the guitar, and then take the strings off so I can wipe the fretboard down. And that doesn't usually affect the bridge that much. So sometimes I'll do that, but for now, we'll just keep this guitar to where I don't have to worry about the bridge flopping all over the place. Interestingly enough, all these other strings seem to be holding their tuning very well. Except for the E string, for the most part, the low E string. If you hear rattling, it's coming from the tuner. The buttons in the tuner are vibrating. Now here's the other thing I do. I take that whammy bar and just go to town with it. All the way down. A couple times. You're not going to hurt it. You've got a springs in the back for that. Now it's out of tune again. Let's try it again. I just got a cheap tuner. Tune Tech is the name brand of it, and it doesn't pick up low strings very well, especially the E string. So I'm having to do harmonics with that. Yeah, it's not registering anything. There it goes. Okay, we're good. It's so weird to look down and see my fingers on neon strings. Sounds like that D's out just a tad. Maybe not. The A is a little high. That's what it is. Now this sounds high, which I know it is. It's way high. I've got to intonate this. It was high like that on the other strings. Okay, so like I said, the next thing to do is get this claw adjusted, and then probably the truss rod just a little bit because the action still seems high. Bring it up just a little bit. It seems like it's kind of straight as it is, but when I bring this claw up, it'll actually should drop some of this action a little bit. So we'll see about that. Give me just a second, and I'm going to there we go. I'm going to go grab those wire cutters, and I'll be right back, guys. Stick around. I don't think there's any new comments or anything. Please give me some comments. I'd like to pop them up on the screen. Okay, so I can pop them up like this. Isn't that cool? So if you comment, I will feature your comment on here, all right? We're probably going to be doing another at least 30, 45 minutes of this live stream, so you got plenty of time to comment. So do that for me, and I'll be right back in just a little bit. For now, go ahead and put this guitar down, grab some wire cutters, and I will return. And I am back, and it is hot as all get out in this place. This room does not get good circulation as it is. That's all right. That's why we have cold coffee nearby. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. All right. Let me take that off. Once again, make sure to add your comment below your favorite string gauge. All right. Let me know what your favorite string gauge or brand is. Hopefully you heard that. Let me know what your favorite string brand or gauge is in the comments below. Love to see what you guys think. Let me know also if you've tried DR neon strings. Okay. What do you think about them? All right. Let's go ahead and add that one. Okay. How about that? have you tried DR Neon Strings? Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you have. All right. Notice the nice little green banner down there. All right. And I couldn't figure out how to change the black text to white. That's something they need to fix because black doesn't look too good on that. All right. So have you tried them? What do you think about them? Leave your comment below. All right. And if you do, it will get featured in this live stream, only during this live stream because I can't feature them later. All right. And if you like StreamYard, so far I'm loving it. If you like it, check the link below in the description area, and you will be able to see what StreamYard does. I think it gives you like some kind of credit, $10 credit or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it seems like I read something about that special link that allows you to do that. All right, so I'm starting to put some things up that I do not need anymore now that they're done, and that is the Rene Martinez Graphitol. Don't need that anymore. I can get that out of the way. I will polish this after I get done with everything else. I don't think I need to. Everything felt pretty nice. This is basically a new guitar. By the way, I've had this guitar a year now, since February. I've been wanting to do a review on it 1 year later. Haven't really done that yet. Don't know if I'll do that or not. I may do some kind of anniversary review another time. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I can get around to doing that. So for now, the strings, I'm going to leave the tuner on attached to it. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these string trees. Now, what I tend to do, not trees, but the extensions, is I tend to go ahead and wrap them around the way they need to be wrapped. Now, these with locking tuners didn't have a whole lot of extra slack. So typically you might want to wind, actually no, you want to leave this on top, because if they do have slack, they'll go underneath. So leave those on top and make sure that the windings go below. Now, I didn't have hardly any windings at all when I was doing this. Let me go check the stream real quick, make sure the audio is still doing good. And it is. Awesome. So, oh, I see some comments. Jimmy says, cool. Jeremy, sorry. It's and what do you say? Awesome guitar. Thank you. It's an Ibanez AZ242BC. Got this guitar about a year ago, a little over a year ago. And I'll tell you, with this guitar, I was debating. I was kind of off again, on again relationship with this guitar. And that's because, for one thing, the neck is a little too thick for my taste. So far, of the Ibanez necks that I've tried, my perfect neck would be the Ibanez SA series. Now, I don't know if the S series is the same or not, but the SA series is amazing. Love it. It's even better than the Wizard neck. It's just a good balance between too thick and shred thin. It's perfect. And for me, it was just a little too much of too much thickness here for my taste. All right. Now, usually what I tend to do, if you'll notice these wire pliers, they have a hole and they have a side where the pliers are actually sticking out a little bit further. Okay, so what I usually do is tend to put the hole down so that I'll have, and it rests on the post, so that I'll have that little extra excess to clip the string with. And that gives me just enough of string to take and wrap around. Now, usually, now that right there to me is a little too much string, so we're going to cut off just a little more. Just a little more of that. That's just too much. And I don't know where that went. I do not want to step on it. May have to vacuum after this is over with. That's going to be hard to find. Don't like that out. Oh, here it is. Found it. Oh, goodness. Good deal. All right, so then I can take and push that around the top. Make sure it stays on the top. Now, what I was saying earlier is you want to do this before so you don't risk getting stuck. So I'm going to wrap it around this post, then cut it, okay? And make sure you are careful to cut only the string that you're working on, okay? The top of it. I did this one time and I've never done it again. It's been years ago. I accidentally clipped off the string. I had my clippers down below and it clipped off an actual string that had been strung. And there goes my new string. So I have learned each time not to do that. And I can already see some flakes of the coating from where I've cut this off. You've really got to be careful, man. I can see those string things sticking out. What I can do is kind of like hammer on that just a little bit and make sure that that point gets a little dull. Or maybe take some of the edge of the the actual thing and kind of file it off just a little bit so that's not too sharp. All right, next one, wrap that around. Thanks for watching, Jeremy. I don't know if you're still there or not, but I appreciate you watching and tuning in and commenting. You want to get this as flat as possible. Don't cut it at an angle because then you're going to have a sharp point, very sharp point. Okay, so try to get it as flat as possible when you're cutting these strings here. Try to get your wire pliers themselves or wire cutters flat and even with the tuning post. Okay. Next, wrap them around. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and there we go. Usually you can get away with resting the pliers on the tuning post and cutting because that's usually pretty enough length. But I want to take and raise up just a little bit before I cut, just a little bit of excess. Make sure that goes down and then try to release. Now, if you're scared of doing the last few, you can take your wire plier and just kind of use it to kind of push that through like that. Use that as your finger there. Push that through. Okay. Now those are done, and typically this tends to detune the guitar once again. So we're going to tune it again. Okay. There's nothing wrong with tuning your guitar multiple times. Oh, I felt that. I went back and I felt that little thing stick me just a little bit. So I've got to watch out for that. This tuner. Yeah, that dropped that down to D sharp. Typically that's going to happen. Once you cut the strings, they tend to slide a little bit, which is weird. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily worried about the other strings because usually it's just the E string that has the problem. Okay, nice. Okay, next thing to do is adjust that tremolo bar here. See if you can see this. No, you probably can't. Anyway, if you're looking at the bridge, it's tilting back into the body just a little bit. So I got to get that straight. So the way you do that is you turn it over. Thankfully, there's these nice little slits in here that I can access the spring claws with. So you just need a Phillips head to do this, and I happen to have one right here. If I can get this thing open. Shouldn't need that anymore. Get this Phillips head out, and just reach back in here, loosen that claw a little bit. Now, I'll tell you, these are kind of bigger than I'd hope for. Oh man, they're good. So once again, sit tight. We'll get a bigger. Wow, let's zoom in so I can see what's going on right here. Let me edit that. I didn't realize I'd spelled back with two A's. Uh-oh, we got some connection problems. Hopefully this is going to be all right. It says I have a good stream. All right, well, looks all right to me. I'll just cancel that. Doesn't necessarily matter that it's weird. All right, let me go get a better screwdriver, one that's got a little bit more oomph to it, and I'll be right back. Okay. All right. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe and click the bell, the notification bell, because that bell allows you to be notified when I go and have live streams like this. Now, usually I don't announce them because I've had all kinds of issues with my live streams, the links going bad. And because I'll use a different streaming service to go ahead and stream with rather than going straight to YouTube. Typically, I have all kinds of problems with that. But hopefully with StreamYard, it allows you to schedule your stream for later. So hopefully with that, I won't have to worry about that anymore. I don't know. Maybe I can finally give you guys notifications of events. Typically, I don't do that, though, because I'm more of a spur-of-the-moment kind of guy. And I don't usually think to go ahead and announce it beforehand. So you definitely want to click the notification bell if you haven't. So please subscribe if you haven't already. Click that bell icon. You'll be notified when I go live and when I have new videos out, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and work on this. Typically, I like to have a longer screwdriver than that, but that's what I've got to work with, so it's all right. I'm just going to take and insert that into the cavity and back that screw out 1 or 2 turns. It's in there pretty tight. Same thing with the other one. That was about a couple or 3 turns, something like that. Try to make it as even as possible. Okay, and I back that out a little bit, and then I retune. You don't want to back it towards completely even, because then when you tune your guitar up, it's going to pull it further. Okay, so you back it out just a little bit at a time, retune, and go from there. It's back at D sharp. Now, when I tighten the tension on here, it's going to bring those up, or bring that bridge up. So I'm going to have more people tune in for this, but that's all right. We got a couple more things to do with this. Once that claw's adjusted, then I'm going to adjust the intonation. Then we're going to plug this bad boy, and probably the truss rod just a little bit. And then I'm going to back this bad boy, plug this bad boy in and see how it sounds. Solo on it a little bit. So I did have another video planned for tomorrow. Usually videos are released for the current schedule for Thursdays. But instead of releasing one tomorrow, I'm just going to let this serve as my video for the week. I do have some more videos planned. Another gear review coming up very soon. Brand new pedal I bought. Can't wait to show it to you guys. See what you guys think about it. Here's a little tip for you when you're playing guitar. Before you play your guitar, before you change your strings especially, always wash your hands. I know we're in this day and age where we're supposed to wash our hands every 50 seconds or whatever. But especially when you're playing guitar or any other string instrument, wash your hands before. Because you never know. You might have been eating chips that day. You might have just finished a meal. Before this, I was eating chips. So I was like, I am going to wash my hands before I touch these strings. I'm going to retune the rest of these. Once again, in that same order. Low E, high E, A, B, then G, D. Because we have a floating tremolo and they are very finicky. But yeah, I have a gear review video coming up soon. My last gear review video was of the Lakato wireless guitar system. You really need to check that out. It's a really good system. I've got a video on that. It was my most recent video, I think, or close to it. I've also got some other tutorial videos coming up that I'm really excited about. Forgot to do that here. I had some ideas for a while and they just keep building up. I use Trello I've mentioned this several times, and my Trello board is filling up with all kinds of ideas, which is a good thing because I'm never running out of ideas for things to do. Problem is doing those things, because a lot of times, like today, oops, turn the right string, Eric. A lot of times, like today, you get in a little weird funk, and you're like, man, I just can't get out of this funk, so I can do stuff. And that happens to all of us every now and then. But I hope you guys are healthy and you guys are well in this time of pandemic and all this stuff going on everybody knows about. And, you know, it helps when you're productive. It helps just to get out and do things like this. So once we got everything in tune, after adjusting that claw, I've yanked on the strings enough. I'm not going to worry about that anymore. Those are good enough, you know, and I'm going to be playing to get some of the stretching out of them anyway. Once we get this in tune, we're going to check the bridge, see where it's at. We may have to do this one more time. I don't expect having to do it more than once, though. So the bridge right now, oh, it's so close to being straight. Probably close enough to count, actually. I mean, it's right there. If I take something that's straight, yeah, it's pretty much good enough to count. I'm going to back it off one more. I like it to be right on the money. That's just the way I am. Ooh, I got a little bit wet with sweat there. Want that on my shirt. Once again, I'm going to polish this here in a minute. So I'm just going to do maybe a little bit of almost a half turn on each one. About like that. Not much at all. Tune that up. See how that goes. Again, leave some comments below. If you like these kind of videos, if you'd like to see more of these kind of things of me doing, you know, just on normal guitar routine stuff like this, or just practice videos. I know a lot of people like to see tutorial videos, but I'm just getting out of a teaching area. It's about summer, and I'm kind of burnt out on teaching, and I just want to play. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I won't be doing. I don't do a lot of request videos because of that, because it's really easy to get burned out on teaching. I just want to get better at my own career, and right now I'm in that phase. I feel like I've done things backwards. And what I mean by that is a lot of times people play and they become famous and they become well known, and then later on in their career they become more of a mentor towards others. They start teaching later in their career when they've accomplished all they can. They've amassed all this knowledge. And give me just a second here. And there's a book that kind of goes over this as well called Start by John Acuff. Really, really interesting kind of observation is that in your 20s and 30s, you become kind of like a student. And later on in your 40s or so, you become maybe a master. And then later on in your 50s, you become a mentor to other people. I'm going to adjust this shot real quick because I realize that I'm done with all the tools and you can't see my face. Can't really talk to you guys without, you know, looking in your face. So, hey, check it out. All right, so that, I think now we're in tune. Let's see. But yeah, like I said, I feel like I've done stuff backwards. I've done all this teaching and stuff, you know, for the last about 8 years. So mostly through my 30s. And, you know, up to that point, I've played a lot, but I don't think I've mastered, at least not electric guitar like I'd like to. And it's weird. I'm going to tell Marco this probably tomorrow if I can think about it. But with me, it's like I can see the fretboard really well and where I'm trying to go and the pathways I'm going with bluegrass. I don't know what it is. I don't really see a lot of scale shapes. I see little patterns, little small scale shapes rather than big, giant epic ones. And with bluegrass, it's a lot easier to see that way because you're relying a lot on open strings. And you don't have to worry about a lot of major or minor, you know, 7-note scales, because in bluegrass, as I've said many times before, a lot of the great bluegrass players rely mainly on pentatonic stuff because it's just super fast, and pentatonics use less notes, and so you don't have to worry about that too much. Also, you don't really think about modes when you're playing bluegrass. Usually you just work with a blues pentatonic scale and you're set. Usually it's a major and maybe it's sometimes a minor every now and then, but it's usually the same shapes all the time. It's not, you know, 3 notes per string or caged or whatever, like I talked about at the beginning of this. You usually don't have to worry about that too much. My main deal right now is trying to figure out which method I need to be using. Which one I need to focus on. Is it 3 notes per string? What does Marco use? You know, what does he recommend? 3 notes per string, caged method, arpeggios, intervals, triads, thousands more ideas it seems like. And it's just like, with all these options, where do you focus, you know? All right, what are we at? That is good enough for me. That is right on the money. It's really good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to check the intonation. All right, now it looks to me like the action is still not where I'd like for it to be. So I've got my handy dandy guitar tool. The first thing I'm going to do now, I'm not going to worry about intonation until I adjust this truss rod. And I can't remember, I think it might be a 4. Let's see, we'll see if it's a 4 or not. I can't remember exactly which one it is. I'm going to check it out and go from there. Now, how you set up a truss rod, and usually if you don't know what you're doing, take it to a professional because they know what they're doing. And usually you're going to look at it just like this. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. In this case, I need to tighten it just a little bit, okay? Because I'm not seeing the action that I want. And so let's tighten this bad boy. And usually it's a quarter turn. So I'm going to have to tighten a little bit because of this string. Take it out and tighten a little more if this thing will come out. Good, right? All right. Be careful not to break your strings. We don't want that to happen. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do is go from underneath it, looks like. There we go. Call that a quarter turn. Come on, get out there. And I can see a little bit of fuzz. And I've stripped the coating just a little bit because of that Allen wrench. Hopefully it will not hurt the integrity of the string. Usually I've never worried about breaking a string like that. So now you can already see an improvement on the action. I'm going to see, just going to keep an eye on it. Sometimes you can see it immediately. Sometimes it takes, you know, a few hours before you can see it. What you don't want is a back bow. And to me, it looks pretty straight, but the action looks already so much better than what it did before. Now, what I'd have to do actually is to see the action is use this millimeter gauge. And usually I think it's from the bottom of the guitar string with a capo here and maybe pressing at this fret. Now that actually is the, when you test the action from here to see if it's a right gauge or whatever. But you can also test it, I think, from here. And then I think it's like the 14th fret, see where the string comes at. And for me, I'm sitting at about 2 millimeters from the bottom of the string at the 15th fret. 14th is about the same, right at 2 millimeters. Let me see if that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 2 millimeters. Now I've got a manual for the Ibanez guitar. I'll probably have to look at that. For the other string, the E string, I'm right at about 1.5, maybe a little 1 3/4. So I would have to check that later. For now, it looks like it's going to be all right. I mean, that's pretty good. That's a lot better than what it was. So let's do this intonation now. Oh, by the way, we need to tune it because we've adjusted something else. So now we need to tune the guitar again. Make sure it's in tune. And yeah. Okay, I think that action is going to be just right. 2 millimeters is not bad at all. Let's check that manual. Let's see what that manual says. All right. I think I'm all right to get over here. Ibanez manual here. I keep my manuals in my little cubby hole. Neon green, as you can see. All right. How many people we got with us watching? Just one or two still? Still? Oh my goodness, people. Where's everybody at? Everybody's supposed to be at home. Where's everybody at? Probably watching Twitch. All right. This is for the Ibanez RG, the 521, whatever, but it's still just as good for this. I just need to check my action. So it says neck adjustment string height. String action refers to the distance between the frets and the string. In general, the distance should be, let's see, to measure the action, tune the guitar accurately, and place a ruler at the 14th fret. That's what I thought. To measure, there, 14th fret to measure the distance from the top of the fret to the bottom of the string. 14 frets, right? 12, 13, 14, right there. In general, the distance should be 1.5 or 1.7 millimeters for the first string. And that's what it is, probably about 1.75. And that's the bottom of the string, by the way. The top of the fret to the bottom of the string. And 2 millimeters or 2.2 millimeters for the sixth string. I am right at, I can see the line for 2 millimeters. That's awesome. All I had to do was adjust the truss rod, a quarter turn, and we're good. Not even having to adjust the saddles. That's awesome. I could not get that to work with the 9-46, the hybrid. I couldn't get it to do it, and it was annoying. But now, it looks just like it did when I first got it. Maybe this action just a little bit higher, but it's where it's supposed to be, and the bridge is straight. Awesome. I'm excited about that. So 9s from now on this guitar. All right, so that's what we got. And it says some more for a 7-string guitar and talks about the neck adjustment. Basically, at the 8th fret, if you want to put the little gap, and you do this and you put the little gap in between the 8th fret to make sure it's all right. This is supposed to be for eliminating buzz and stuff like that. Let's see what I may have to do. Let's see. The neck is constantly bearing the tension of the string, and its curvature will be subtly affected not only by the state of the tuning in the string gauge, but also by changes in temperature and humidity. If you experience problems such as string buzz, or muted notes, even after the action and tuning are adjusted correctly, you should check and adjust the curvature of the neck. Now, what this says about the action here, the method or adjusting of action will depend upon the type of tremolo bridge in which guitar is equipped. Okay, so for strings other than those listed above, adjust the action so the distance gradually increases from the first string towards the lowest string. So they're talking about your saddles. Okay, if it's too high, the instrument will be difficult to play. If the action is too low, you may experience buzz and muting. If you experience string buzz and muted notes, even when the action is adjusted correctly, you might need to adjust the neck bow. That's what this is. I did that because I actually adjusted this rather than the saddles for when I changed the strings from 10s to hybrid 9-46. I'm not going to fool with the saddles. I did that once before, and it turned out to be a mess. And I don't want to fool with it. Fredua, once again, though, Fredua TV on YouTube, he talks about how to adjust the action, how to do this. But he recommends against even touching these. Just rely on your neck for that. But anyway, this one, once again, you check the curvature of the neck. You tune it accurately. You hold the guitar in playing position. Press the first fret, the first string, and also the fret nearest the point where the neck joins the body, which is right here in this case. Looks like the neck joining the body. It could be either 17 or 18. I would probably choose 18. And then you use your little feeler gauges. It's not that, but there's actual feeler gauges. You would use a capo here, not because you need a hand free to test. You put a capo here, neck joins the body, and use your feeler gauges to see at the 8th fret if it touches. If it touches, then you need to decrease the bow to get the buzz out. And for the top string, it needs to be, let's see here. Press the string also nearest point on the body. Measure the gap between the string at the fret and the 8th fret in the same way. Measure the gap for the lowest string, same way. Make the adjustments so the gaps are in the range of 0.3 millimeters to 0.5 millimeters. So that's what you want to see at the 8th fret. If I'm looking at this, I'm at the, let's see, the 8th fret. To me, it looks good. I'm not going to fool the action. I'm good with that. All right. So now we need to set up the intonation because I know the G string is very high. Both times I've done this, it's been high, especially when I do a D string or a D chord. It's in tune here, but when you press it, it's out of tune. Now, I noticed I'm not pressing exactly on the fret. When I do, it's still sharp. So that's when I know it's time to fix it. Also, the E is a very good chord to test this out on because E, it's hard to get to that fret right on the fret, that string. Right there where it is, D sharp. It's sharp. Here, still sharp. Maybe a little less sharp, but it's still sharp. Okay, so we're going to adjust the intonation now. All right, and I'm going to keep this string going. All right, what do you think? What do you think of these? Leave your comments below. What do you think of these neon strings on this brown guitar? That's awesome. I think they look really good. All right. Also, please leave your comment. I will feature it just like I did with Jeremy's here. Awesome guitar. All right. Leave your comment, and I will feature it here. If it's and please, family friendly. Okay. I don't run channels that aren't. My channel is always family friendly. All right. So let's see. Let me think here. Have you tried the neon strings? Have you tried these yet? If you have, please leave me a comment below. Tell me what you think about them. Tell me what you think about their durability, their lifespan, if they look good on stage, you know. There's a green light right here, okay? So I've actually got a green light, so that actually is making the strings look greener, if that's even possible. I may change that here in just a little bit to purple or like a black light setting and see what that looks like. So intonation. Now we're going to use that small Phillips head again, right here. And what we're going to do is at the 12th fret, we're going to check each string. I'm going to make sure. Now, usually you typically want to do this with every change of string gauge. And when you start noticing the tuning kind of acting a little wonky, if the tuner's okay, but you fret chords and you play stuff up here and it's just out of tune, that's when you want to adjust the intonation. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and play the string open and then play it at the 12th fret. Now this string is right on the money, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's do the next string. Make sure it's in tune. Okay. Okay, that's a little sharp. So what we need to do now is, if it's sharp, we need to lengthen the string. Okay, in order to do that, you're going to take your screwdriver and start twisting righty-tighty. That will tighten it. That will put the saddle back. It will bring it back, and it will lengthen the string. If it's flat, we need to shorten the string. The string's too long. So we take and go lefty-loosey, and we bring the string shorter. Okay. This is too sharp, so I need to lengthen the string. So I'm going to tighten the saddle just a little bit. You don't have to tighten too much at all. Just like maybe one turn. And I do this. I don't worry about detuning. Now, if this is a bass guitar, yeah, I would detune the string first once I've tuned it and made sure if it's not working, I would detune the string and then adjust the saddle, because you're going to have a hard time moving that saddle if you don't. So now it should sound sharp, and it does. Okay. So we've got to back that down. But we have effectively lengthened the string now because we've adjusted the saddle backwards and made that string longer. So now it's in tune. Once again, I'm tuning this as I would play it right here with the guitar up, not flat on the table, okay? Okay, so now it's in tune. Let's check that again. Still says it's sharp. Give it a little bit more. Usually about almost a full turn, half a turn, 3/4 of a turn, about all you need. And the good thing about this is it doesn't really affect the other strings. You know, when you tune one string, the other strings get wonky if it's a floating tremolo. Not when you tune this. That doesn't make the other strings get wonky, except for the fact that it makes that string sharp, so it kind of affects the others. But this doesn't hinder that at all. You don't have to worry about because once you tune it back down, everything else is fine. All right, so now we're good. Let's try it again. Ooh. Just a little more, just a hair more. Right about there. Okay. Yeah. What I'm going for, now this is my theory, I'm going to try to lengthen that string as much as it was when I press this. In other words, if it's like, if this is A and it's like 1 cent off, then I'm going to turn it to where when I let go, it's only 1 cent off or close to it. So you don't need to tune it or turn it very extremely at all. So that's on the money, just a little more. Okay. Still says it's sharp. Just a little more. This process takes just a little bit long. Not too bad though. Perfect. Next. It's a little off. Now we're good. Just a little off. Make sure you turn the right one. Okay, back that off. And if you're curious about these strings, there are links in the description below. Once again, these are DR neon strings. The link in the description below will take you to all kinds of these, not just the green ones. It'll take you to like neon orange, red, white, and blue, rainbow colors, red, blue, all kinds. You got all kinds to pick from. All right, so definitely check out the links in the description below. And I also have a gear page that will take you to a page that has all kinds of different categories. One of those is as seen on YouTube. And usually it has all the links from the latest YouTube videos that I have been reviewing and then some. So you should be able to see just about anything else I may have talked about. One thing I need to put on there is this string winder. Isn't that cool? That's awesome, man. I mean, that has saved so much time trying to string my guitar. All right, we're on the money. We're still on the money, so I'm going to let it fade down. Perfect. Now, I know the G's out. We had issues with the G. Oh, dude. Could it be? That's right on the money. What about now? It's a little sharp here. But instead of intonating to where it's sharp and I'm off the fret, what I would probably do is just detune this just a hair to compensate for that. I never do the intonation here to compensate for where my fingers are, because once I'm up here soloing, that'll throw everything else out of whack. So it says it's perfect. It's perfect. Once again, I'm fretting right against the fret. Once again, that rattle that you're hearing is coming from the tuner. The buttons are loose. Ooh, that's a little sharp. Well, maybe not. Every one of these should be fine now. Now, I mean, that D sounds out. So does the B, because of the way I fret. Now, the D is low here. It just went out. I always have that issue with the D and the B string. So I usually take and detune the B string to compensate for that. Once again, rather than adjusting the intonation because of it. Because if I'm right on the fret, it's a little sharp there. But up here, it's fine. Let's see what happens if I go down. It's right on the money there. I'll usually take and pull that down just a hair on that B string. So again, that A, this happens a lot too. The A is a little off. Like it's sharp there, so I'll tune that down just a hair to where it's in line with that B. Now it sounds too low. So hopefully as I play, I get better at these. Hopefully as I play, the strings will kind of like adjust a little bit and not have to worry about it too much. Now that that's done, the setup for me is done. Okay, so here, anything that happens after this is usually going to be tuning the strings to adjust for some compensation, things like that. Take that length thing off. But now the A is off with that high E. And one thing Fredua recommends is that once you get your guitar in tune, you take the whammy bar and you give it one of those. And so that every time you dip the strings, if you get out of tune, dip this and it goes right back in tune. So let's do that. Let's tune the guitar to that dip. All right, now once again, I put the graph all in there. The graph it all, I mean. These are holding their tuning well. Once again, I did kind of a small offset on the B on purpose. Okay, everything's now in tune. Give it another dip. Do this until it doesn't go out of tune anymore. Because if something happens and it does go out of tune, then all you have to do is dip that whammy bar and everything should reset perfectly in tune again. Probably thinking, man, this is a lot of tuning. Yes, it is. But if you want a guitar that performs flawlessly, it takes this kind of meticulation. Right now, we've been on this stream for what? A good 2 hours or more? But for what we're going to get out of it, it's going to be worth it. Sounds pretty good to me. Let's plug this bad boy up and see what we got, all right? So, anything else I need to do? Nope. I need to get that string out of the floor because I remember that thing fell down. And wrap the strings up. I can do all that later. Let's just, and I'll do the polishing later and everything else. The string's pretty much over with for now. But I do want to check out the sound. So, hopefully, we can get this thing sounding all right. So what I'm going to do now is move the camera. I've actually got it on a tripod. I'm using the Logitech C920. I'm going to move this thing back to my computer screen. It's actually hooked up to a huge extension cord. I'll take care of that later, but for now, let's go ahead and move. Sorry about that. Probably should have done that before. Go ahead and move this back to my actual computer. Probably not going to look too good because of this heavy cord tugging on it. Get that out of the way. And then we'll actually hook it up to the computer. See what it sounds like. Hopefully it will be picking up all this stuff. And surprise, there's my tripod. I use a Targus tripod. Don't know the model number, just I ended up getting it and locked it, so that's what I use. Set that out of the way. Go ahead and get my green light back on here. I just unplugged it from the wall. Oh well. Okay, let's go ahead and roll this thing over here so I don't have to worry about the thing. Good. You can still see me pretty good. Should still be able to see that. Man, this is kind of odd. All right, let me see here. Put that brightness up just a little bit because it's a little too dark. I've also usually got this thing pointing against the wall, not right on me, so we're going to put that back to where that was. It's a little better. Nice. Okay. Bring that guitar over here. Shouldn't need the tuner now because I've got a tuner on my actual rig down here. Man, I'm really low, sitting low in this chair. So you should be able to hear, and I'm going to have to tune this down to compensate for the other thing. Pick. There you go. All right, let's see what we got, folks. Please work. Oh, I got to plug it in. Sorry. All right, let's check it out, folks. Let's try some gain. This may blow your ears out, so just get ready. Isn't that awesome? The new pedal that I'm going to be doing and demoing pretty soon, as soon as I get this video edited, the video for it, you're going to be seeing it. That's what's causing this awesome feedback effect. Now, there's a big bend. Okay, so let's check the bends out. That's a big bend. Flawless tuning, guys. Man, isn't this awesome? I love these strings. They look subtle, but they look good. So good. So happy about that, guys. Isn't that awesome? Really good. Just a second. I've got to try this blacklight thing out. Actually, I think it's my other one that looks like that. Yeah, that looks more like a blacklight than anything. Does it look like a blacklight? Yeah, kind of. You can still see them. They look awesome, don't they, guys? Leave me a comment below. Please subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. I really appreciate it if you do. And just a really quick thing. As far as feel goes, it's really easy to get used to. It kind of has almost a sticky texture to it. Not much of anything that would be different from the actual string winding itself. It's smoother than string winding. But yeah, I don't even notice it. They sound so good and they feel nice. They feel really nice. Nines, I'm so happy to be back to nines. They feel really good. And I'm going to get some good playing time out of these. Hopefully these will last a long time. Hopefully they won't feel too sticky or anything like that. And if I like these are probably the strings I stick with on this guitar. I've got plenty of Ernie Ball slinkies still left over. But I can use them on the blue guitar right there. Okay. And for that guitar, I'll be using the remaining 2 packs of hybrid strings that I've got, the 946. But for all my nines, I can use the slinkies on this. I just keep ordering DR strings. Please subscribe, click that bell. If you like the way these look on my guitar, I'm sure they'll look great on your guitar. Please check out the links in the description below. And leave me a comment. What are your favorite strings, brand and gauge? What do you like to use? And also, have you tried DR neon strings? If you have, leave a comment below. Tell us what you think about them. Later on, I'll be doing a review on these probably within a week or two after having played them, you know. Practice some of the things that I've learned from Marco Slowly after our lessons tomorrow. And then we'll see if these green strings help me play better. What do you think? Leave it in the comment below. Once again, thanks so much for watching, guys. This has been almost 2 hours long. It's been one of the longest streams I've had yet. Thanks to Jeremy, the only guy that commented, people, come on, attend these streams so you can be featured on my streams now. All right, isn't that awesome? All right, good deal, guys. I appreciate you guys definitely watching this later, no doubt. And can't wait to get some more videos done. Sometimes it's hard to just get the motivation to do it, but then when you're doing it lost in the middle of the creativity, it's like, what was so huge of this that I couldn't tackle it, you know, and you really enjoy doing it. Now I want to play my guitar all night. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you on the next stream. Probably be using StreamYard again. Check the link below as well for that, because we will have more streams coming up, and they will be, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that. There's a link in the description below for StreamYard. Check that out, because there's going to be, I think there's like a credit amount that it gives you. I don't remember how it is. I can't remember. There's some kind of discount or something involved with this link. But check that out for StreamYard. We'll definitely be using StreamYard some more. I've had no issues with this thing at all. It's been a blast and a breeze to use. And I haven't had, my string connection has been excellent. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I've got an iMac now, and I've said goodbye to my Mac Mini woes. That's a whole nother story, but now I've got an iMac, don't have to worry about it. So awesome, guys. Hope you guys heard everything on the guitar and everything. Please interact with these streams, leave some comments and stuff. And to keep from rambling, I'm going to say sayonara. God bless. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching, and stay safe out there.